As we strive for the best electric vehicle in the world, we are also making sure that we are providing a true luxury Cadillac.
EV luxury is something that takes care of you when you least expect it. It's walking up to a vehicle and have it welcome you and really awaken all of your senses.
When you approach the LYRIQ interior, the first thing that'll be prevalent to you is the beautiful curved 33-inch display. It's just a stunning display. It feels like you've purchased a high-end TV in your living room.
We have graphics that go all the way to the edge, the beautiful colors, and the fact that this is a battery electric vehicle. The UX team did a beautiful job.
Years ago, we would make it obvious that it's an EV, bright greens, bright blues, your battery gauge is huge. When we're working on EVs with a brand like Cadillac, it has to be sophisticated, it has to be elegant. We know from speaking to our customers and doing research clinics that generally EV customers kind of fall into two different categories. There's people who are really into the data and want to make sure they understand everything that's happening with their vehicle. There's also the other side of customers who maybe don't really need all that data and just want to be assured that everything's okay. And with the infotainment system and the LYRIQ, you're able to get as much information or as little information as you are comfortable with.
Technology has always been a key element in Cadillacs, and the LYRIQ is no exception.
Traditional heads-up displays have one plane of information that makes it look like graphics are floating on the hood. This new dual-plane HUD has two different planes of information. One looks like it's floating on the hood, and another looks like it's floating on the road. The near plane will be really crucial information like your speed. That far plane will be things like navigation, turn by turn. It's a step beyond anything we've ever done before.
When it comes to the audio system that we have in the LYRIQ, it's a 19-speaker AKG studio. Our goal was to transport the customer into our recording studio to establish that emotional connection with your system, with AKG, is the right brand for Cadillac.
Often designing new features that you don't fully understand yet is a challenge. Super Cruise is a great example.
Super Cruise is the industry's first truly hands-free driver assist system. We introduced it in 2018 on the Cadillac CT6, and it'll be coming to the LYRIQ. We've added many new features to Super Cruise, the biggest one being our lane change on demand feature, where the driver can actually request a lane change and then the vehicle will execute the lane change on its own.
When the customer is using Super Cruise, it's very important that the customer feels safe. Using this new high-resolution display, using real-time rendering of 3D graphics, we're able to provide that safety information.
The components that make Super Cruise actually function, some of them appear on the interior side, and we designed them to be so seamless for the customer that we give them all the space and comfort that they expect in a luxury product.
The company-wide collaboration that has taken place between exterior design, interior design, color and trim, the user experience studio, all these different team members working together collaboratively has shown us that there's a lot more we can do to make a much more polished and finished product.
The challenge we had was how do we keep moving forward and how do we take Cadillac into a new direction where people see it as still a Cadillac, but very much a future-forward vision for Cadillac.
From a luxury styling perspective, our creative design partners have really had free rein on this vehicle.
It is a designer's dream to start with an all-new architecture. It takes up less space. It allows you to have the freedom to design this interior the way you want from start.
Attention to detail with the edges, the surfaces, the fits, the finishes, the selection of materials. We've thought several layers deep in terms of how we want to communicate what the future of Cadillac promises to the customer.
The interior designers start out with that first read, the beautiful surfacing, striking the lines and making sure that they are uninterrupted and flowing. And the placement of woods, metal, with the warm accents, the contrast between cool and warm is just beautiful. And that allows for that second read. The third read is that layer of discovery. It's those discoveries that help the customer fall in love over and over again.
There's so many cool elements in this interior.
When you open the door, we have this layered approach to the wood and metal. And when those parts are put together, it's illuminated from behind with a beautiful texture that's also echoed in the speakers below.
If you look on the end of the IP, we've got merlettes in there that's kind of like an Easter egg. As you open the center console, the little drawer opens, and it's beautifully lined like a jewelry box.
And it's the texturing within the metal that you find around the curved screen on the IP. And that same texture you'll find on the multifunctional controller.
It looks like it's made by a watchmaker or a jeweler. That's the kind of surprises that we wanted to develop for a luxury customer.
We wanted to have clean, simple design. The foundation allows for great proportions.
The exterior design is no longer limited with a constraint of a combustion engine, so instead it frees us to be much more creative.
It's an opportunity to really push the fashion of car design.
The LYRIQ also unveils the new face of Cadillac.
We wanted to reinvent the crest in a way that looked very technologically advanced, but had a very jewelry and bespoke appearance.
The black crystal appearance of the grille and the avant-garde lighting are integrated artfully. So the face becomes much more expressive, sculptural, and sophisticated.
The vertical lighting had a lot to do with our relationship with our engineers and really being able to work back and forth with them to develop a technology we've never had before. When we walk up, the lighting sequences start with the badge, and then it fills in through the grille, and as the grille fills up, it pushes the light down through a technical rain of the vertical signature. It also pushes that light back through the whole horizontal of the vehicle, from the nose to the tail.
My ultimate goal was to make this hands down the best Cadillac SUV that anyone has ever seen.
The LYRIQ paves the way for Cadillac's all-electric future. It sets the tone for Cadillac's design language moving forward. It's effortless, it's simple, and it's refined. LYRIQ harmoniously blends sculpted surfaces, fluid lines, and next-generation technologies.
Creating LYRIQ is just a chance of a lifetime to lead a team that is extremely passionate and creative.
We knew that we were working on something really special when we started to give luxury EVs a soul.
This is going to be one of the most fun to drive vehicles that I've ever worked on.
There's nothing about it that doesn't captivate me. When we get aligned behind a task and a mission and a vision, we can accomplish just about anything.
You spend years at drafting tables, in conference rooms, at computers, math modeling in clay, to get the vehicle to the point where you actually sit behind the wheel and drive it.
The electric propulsion system really opens up a lot of windows for us to offer a wide variety of range and performance options, including some very impressive 0 to 60 times.
The battery pack is tied into the underbody of the vehicle. It's going to help stiffen the vehicle such that your handling, your steering feel, and your responsiveness are going to be light and they're going to be quick.
The way the Ultium battery is integrated into the LYRIQ really helps us lower the center of gravity.
That combined with a nice wide stance to the vehicle is going to give you a great road hugging experience around corners. We designed this vehicle to have nearly a 50-50 weight distribution, which means
the more predictable, the more precise, and the more fun to drive a vehicle is.
when you think about an EV and you think about driving dynamics, the first thing that comes to mind is the near instantaneous torque that you get out of the electric drive motors.
The fundamental architecture of LYRIQ is rear-wheel drive. And then LYRIQ goes a step further with a performance all-wheel drive option that offers another drive unit in the front of the vehicle.
So not only are you getting power distribution to all 4 tires, but you're actually increasing your horsepower. When the first pre-productions came off of our manufacturing line and I had the time to drive it and I was able to feel the handling, I was able to feel that near instantaneous torque, I was able to feel the ride control. This vehicle will be a no excuses performance Cadillac. In any vehicle development, aerodynamics is critical. But on an EV, especially when you talk about things like range anxiety, aerodynamics becomes that much more critical.
LYRIQ is our first execution of a vented roof spoiler. So that allows us to maintain the square back shape of an SUV, but also get the optimal performance. Our electric vehicles don't make noise as internal combustion engines do, so the level of wind noise contributions becomes heightened.
We have not reduced any of our noise abatement strategies or content, and in fact have added more, such as our road noise cancellation.
Road noise cancellation understands the road noise that makes its way inside the cabin, and using our microphones, speakers, amplifier, we would cancel that noise. The LYRIQ is the first program to adopt that feature.
With EVs, we define performance on a number of dimensions. They're the traditional ones, like acceleration and stopping, but it also goes to what's the range, what's the charging time, what do we have in terms of automated driving technologies, what do we have in terms of displays. And in all of those areas, we're breaking new ground, not just for Cadillac, but for the industry.